It's salty, it's sweet, it's oniony, it's vinegary. It's a chicken Florentine sandwich. It's literally the best tasting sandwich we've ever eaten, and we're making a keto. Sarah and I have been eating this sandwich for over 20 years because our mother used to make it for us. This sandwich is traditionally served on pizza bread. You know, the kind that you get that's made by Pillsbury. You get it in the tube and it's really thick and it's delicious, but we can't have that obviously. A couple years ago, Sarah and I were like, why can't we make this a chapel? So we did, and it's amazing. This recipe actually was made by a home chef who entered it into a Pillsbury recipe competition, and it won for best recipe of all time. And the prize for this contest was
$1 million.
Sorry, when else could we ever say $1 million and use a Dr. Evil reference on our channel? Probably will never have it again. So let's talk about the components of this sandwich. We're going to be cooking up some chicken breast for this sandwich. We're going to slice that nice and thin. We're going to have a red onion vinegar jam. We're going to have a fresh component, which is actually frozen because we're using frozen spinach, although you could use fresh. And then there's the cheese. We're going to be using a sliced provolone. And of course, the bread, right? I mean, you probably could use a keto-friendly bread. We have found that our chaffles make the perfect replacement, so we're gonna have to make those too. All together, they form the most perfect sandwich known to man. So we're cooking our chicken very simply. We preheated our oven to 350 degrees. We put our chicken breast on a pan and we coated it with a bit of avocado oil, and then we put about a teaspoon of salt on it, and we have an Italian herb fresh grinder, and we put about a tablespoon of the Italian seasoning on top. So we put our chicken in the oven and we're gonna check on it in about 25 minutes and make sure that it's about 165 degrees. So while our chicken is cooking, we're going to take a minute to talk about the sponsor of this video, Element. Element is a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything that you need and nothing that you don't. That means lots of salt with no sugar. Element contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Electrolytes play an important role with how you feel, especially on keto. When you go into ketosis for the first time, you shed a lot of water, and inside that water are your electrolytes. This can make you feel fatigued, be nauseous, have muscle cramps, and more. Element replenishes your electrolytes so that you feel better. And Sarah and I have been talking about Element for years, way before they started sponsoring videos on our channel. We drink Element every single day because it tastes so good. It is literally the best tasting electrolyte supplement that we have ever tried. And for all of you guys that are sitting there and you haven't gotten your sample pack yet, for a limited time, and I do mean limited because they are ending it soon, within a couple days, our Keto Twins community can get a free sample pack of Element. All you have to do is pay for shipping. You can click the link in the description and get your sample pack today. Thanks so much to Element for sponsoring another video on our channel. Sponsors help keep our channel going, you guys. And thanks to you guys for supporting our sponsors. Sideburn check.
They are in place, locked and loaded.
So for our red onion component, I've cut up 2 small red onions into thin slices. You could also use 1 large red onion. You're only going to be using a couple tablespoons of this jam on your chaffle. I know that onions have some carbs in it, but honestly, I'm not worried about it. So I added a couple tablespoons of avocado oil to a pan. I turned on my flame to medium-low heat. We're just going to let this cook for about 20 minutes, very low and slow, until the red onions are nice and soft and caramelized, and then we're going to make them very special. Next up, we're going to have to talk about the bread component, which are our favorite chaffles. Most of you guys probably found us because of our chaffle recipe that we did back in 2021, and we still make our chaffles like this to this day. And so we're going to go over our recipe really quickly in case you don't know it, but seriously, we make the best chaffles.
So we have made our chaffles multiple times here on our channel, so I'm going to quickly go over the recipe, but we will leave a link to our full recipe in the description below. We have it all listed on our website, ketotwins.com, for you guys. Some chaffles tend to be really moist. I know you guys hate that word, moist, ooh, but we like a nice dry chaffle because it leaves it nice and crispy. So let me start mixing my ingredients and then we'll go over the technique, which is very important. So in a bowl, I combine my dry ingredients. We put the cheese, the almond flour, and the xanthan gum, and I mix to combine it because you want to be careful with xanthan gum. It will clump up if you put in your wet ingredients. So make sure that you evenly distribute it throughout the cheese before adding in your egg whites. So I added my egg whites into my mixture and I made sure to toss it evenly. And now we're going to get to making our chaffles. So you're going to need a waffle maker to make this chaffle. We use Dash products here on our channel. We love them and we find that they make the best chaffle. If you are loving our chaffles and you're making them all the time, you might want to invest in this. It is the 4 Dash mini waffle maker. They will make 4 waffles or chaffles at a time, and you can be spending like an hour making chaffles if you don't have one of these machines. So we definitely would recommend it, and we will link it in the description below if you guys are interested in checking it out. For our chaffles, the technique is really simple. A lot of people think you need to put a ton of batter into the waffle maker, and you really don't need that much. I like to take 2 heaping tablespoons and put it into the middle of my waffle maker, and then you're gonna take like a fork or a spoon and you're gonna spread it nice and thin. You don't need it to fill every crevice, because when you put the lid down, it's gonna squish the cheese and it's going to fill it up and make it nice and crispy. You're gonna leave the waffle maker closed until you see all the moisture kind of stop coming out of the sides. You're gonna see that evaporation go away, and then it should be done. I take a fork and I kind of slowly lift it off. There's gonna be like a presentation side of this chaffle and a kind of undercooked side, but you can't get it equally crispy on both sides. It's just not possible. So presentation side goes on the outside, and on the inside you have where the toppings are. We like to rest our chaffles on a wire rack so that you get some nice airflow and it can dry out a little bit more. It makes it nice and crispy.
So our onions have been cooking down on low heat for about 20 minutes. I'm gonna add in 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons of allulose, or you could use whatever sweetener that you want. Sometimes I use stevia, a pinch of salt, it's about half a teaspoon, and I'm going to mix this together, and it's going to cook down even more for about 5 minutes, and then take it off the heat and put it to the side. Now let's talk about our spinach. We're just using frozen spinach. We put about a cup of frozen spinach on a plate and put it into the microwave for about a minute, and we're going to wring this out on paper towels to get most of the moisture out, and that's going to be our spinach layer. Very simple. If you use fresh spinach, you're probably going to want to use more than you think, because fresh spinach wilts down to nothing. Next up, we're going to thinly slice our chicken breast. Remember, you don't want your sandwich to be like a foot tall. You want to actually be able to bite down on this sandwich. I have made the mistake in the past of making the sandwich too large. And if you want to save time and maybe even a little bit of money, you could buy deli sliced chicken breast and get like half of a pound of it or something, and that would work well too. I also do that in a pinch when making this sandwich. And now it's time to put together the most glorious sandwich in existence.
Okay, taking B-roll. Don't worry, your face is not in it. Not in it at all.
All right, so you can see all the layers in here. You know, it's an aesthetically pleasing sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
The onions are so pretty, and the green. So I think it's really key to thinly slice your chicken, because this is a sandwich.
Yeah.
This is a mouthful, okay? So you haven't had this sandwich in quite some time, years. Let's see if it lives up to its $1 million prize, shall we?
Mm. I don't think this sandwich is worth $1 million.
It's not?
No, it's not. I think it's worth...
$100 billion.
There's a money back guarantee if you don't like this sandwich.
Emily will send you that money.
You didn't pay anything for this video, so. And if you want to see one of our favorite videos, it's really funny. We had a keto burger competition and had our husbands choose the winner. You can click right here and we'll see you over there. Anyway, I'm Emily.
And I'm Sarah.
We are the Keto Twins, signing out.